All right. Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Source and Company. I am your host, Source. Of course, as always, you can follow me everywhere, just not to my house. Ha ha. All right. So follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and of course TikTok. If you're not in the live and you're catching this later, possibly on YouTube, follow me on TikTok at Source of Course, Instagram at Source of Course, YouTube, Source and Company. It's all the same thing. A little bit of hip hop, a little bit of sports, and a lot of me. All right.
That's
But
right.
today's company, that's right, that's right.
That's right.
Today's company, we have the creator and actually the man behind the character from Gangsta Island TV. He's the man behind Gangsta Island TV as a whole. He's an award winner. He is going crazy on IG, and he is here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Lewis. Bro, what up?
Man, I appreciate you, brother. How you feel? How you feel?
I'm good, bro. Generally good. Just glad to be here. I love doing this and I love talking to good people such as
Hey, your
yourself. So
Eagles
I
killing
appreciate
it
you taking
though.
the time.
I meant to tell you that. Your Eagles killing it. They might go all the way.
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're not, you know. We look, since you brought it up, we're about to run into a gauntlet. We got Kansas City, San
They ain't really
Francisco,
a gauntlet no more.
Buffalo. I know you're right when I get to Buffalo and they where they played last night, and then Dallas at Dallas. I don't like it. I don't like it, but as long as we get two out of those four, I think we good money because we can cruise to the end a little easier on the back end.
Y'all can get Kansas
How's your
City
squad?
and Dallas. Hey, look,
How's
man, I
your
don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it, man. But I'm what I'm trying to do. I was trying to inject some luck into Chicago, so I did a video about the top five verses in the Super Bowl Shuffle. I thought that would inject some 1985's flavor. It didn't work. The video was a dud. Nobody cared about it. Then we continue to lose. So I don't even want to talk about it.
Hey, you gotta bring that one back. That one was good. I enjoyed that one. I don't know about the other
Yeah,
people. I
man,
enjoyed
I
that
might
one.
repost it. I think it was off hours when I posted. It was just something like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday or something. So I'm gonna come back with it.
Yeah, let's run that back. Let's run that back. Will, what up? Appreciate y'all checking in. Feel free to tap the screen, share the live with somebody. Let somebody know that Gangsta Island TV is in the building. So that's more than enough reason to come through. All right. So
You're
let's
too
let's
kind.
chop
You're
it
too
up
kind.
here.
All right, let's do it.
And you the man. You the man. I tell you regularly. So we're gonna talk about that. First of all, like I know we've talked about it before, but I want to let the people know that may not have been around for that. So you have or have a TV show that was on streaming platforms previously, Gangsta
Hmm.
Island TV, and
Right.
you taken the main character from the show and created a platform behind that character connected to hip hop. Just let us know something. Start where you want to start.
All right, cool. So the whole idea behind the animation. So I kind of go back to the beginning. So let me know if I'm rambling too much. So I used to be a live action filmmaker, just doing short films, and I was doing a TV show. This is right before I was writing it, had the table read, getting ready to go into production in early 2020. Now we know what happened in early 2020, right?
Sheesh.
So live action just basically was on hold for like a year and a half. So I'm like, man, I got this hot show. Like, what am I gonna do with it, right? So I fall asleep one night, I wake up, and there's an animation on TV. It was like, how YouTube, man, you watch YouTube, then you wake up, and it keeps playing, and it might be
Mhm.
dinosaurs mating us. You know what I'm saying? When you wake up, you start off watching one thing, it's a whole different subject. There was some animation on. I was like, you know what? I make this into an animation. So this platform that you guys see, this was completely not planned. So I was trying to do a show, but I wanted to do it. I live in the past, man. Anything 80s, 90s, man, I'm down for. You already know anybody that watches my show, they understand that. So that's just kind of the time period I'm forever gonna live in, right? So I was doing a animated TV show, like a regular TV show, a sitcom or whatever, and it was called, just Gangsta Island. But I said, you know what, man, I want to try this podcast thing out. So I'm gonna take one character and I'm gonna do just the hip hop podcasts or basically topics or top fives or whatever just on him so I can practice. Because I'm the sole animator of everything that I do, right? Uh,
Mm.
so that's what I did. So I was just doing that to practice. That character, it did very well. So I started putting all my eggs in that basket. So then I did release on Amazon Prime, but it was more short episodes, like 5-minute episodes. But what I'm doing now, since this character is done well, I'm making this character the forefront of the reboot of the series, which is coming to streaming platforms soon. So that'll be probably early 2024. I'm in the midst of writing it right now, casting some
Mm.
voiceovers and all of that. So that's kind of the quick and dirty of how this all came about. But this was before TikTok, so I started that on YouTube. I didn't start TikTok until I didn't start the top fives until September 2022. So it was a whole year
I'm just,
what that
I'm
sitcom
just,
was out before this.
I'm just clearing my throat. I know you said voiceover. I just want to,
Oh,
you
hey man, I got you, bro. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
know, let me get some paperwork together real quick. Let me see what I can do.
Hey, let's talk
But
about it.
yeah,
Let's
that
talk
hey,
about it. It's gonna be dope. Connected to the
that's
'80s for
fire though,
sure, man.
man.
hmm
I, you
Yeah. So let me
said
see. Do I
live
do my own
action, so I don't know
animation
if you
by
told me that.
hand or computer? Oakland Rider. I do it by computer. So what first
I don't know
by
if you
hand
ever
I
told me
draw
the
it
other
out
part.
and then I do that. But anyway, go ahead, source. I was just answering somebody in the
I,
comments.
I, yeah, no problem. I don't know if I realized that you were a live action filmmaker prior, or I think it's the first time you said it, or the first time I remember it.
hmm
Dang. So do you still dabble in that now? Now that things are kind of,
I never go back to live action, but I got a whole career, right? So a lot of people don't know this. I'm a sales executive for Microsoft in AI and data analytics. So that takes up a lot of my time,
wow.
which is why I don't post a whole lot. So live
Okay.
action, it really takes up a bunch of time. And when switching to animation, this my animation studio that I'm sitting in right now, I can do that myself. I don't need anybody to do
Yeah.
it. So it knocks off a lot of time. And plus live action, man, there's so many rules now since COVID. And it's difficult for live action independent films if you don't have a following to make money.
Mm.
And at this point, I'm not doing it for my health. If I'm not going to shell out a bunch of money and I don't really see an ROI.
Understood. Understood. I see
Mm-hmm.
somebody in the comments saying, finally a face with a voice. No, that's for you.
Appreciate you,
That's
brother.
dope. That's dope. Man, yeah, that's I'm glad you're getting back to it, or at least getting back to putting something out into the world. But yeah, like you mentioned, the one character has kind of taken the lead as far as what you've been doing on social media. And this was you said it was by mistake, huh? You just kind of fell into this thing.
Yeah, I did. It was well, I fell into like talking to hip hop and like this background, just the character that you all know. I did that to practice for the animation. I mean, for the series, because I was animating 12, 13 characters. So I was like, well, let me see if I can do this one. And I can talk about something that I know. So when I did that, it felt natural, and everybody really liked that because there was not that many, if at all, any black animators just talking about throwback hip hop. That was my lane. You got to kind of be a little, I consider myself a little bit experimental. Innovation, that's up to be discussed, but a little bit experimental. So I wanted to go out to do that, and it did well. So I kind of ran with it.
Yeah, man, it's a great topic. I remember people were always when I first started doing hip hop, people were like, "Oh my gosh, nobody does hip hop." I was like, "Nobody, like, come on, like it's a billion people. I don't know how many people on TikTok, but it's a lot of people on TikTok. You can't tell me nobody's doing it. It's got
Right,
to be
right, right,
somebody out
right.
here." Then I run into people with hundreds of thousands of followers. I'm like, "Well, y'all, how y'all didn't see these people?"
Well, TikTok is man, it's probably in the nine-figure range of of subscribers to TikTok. So there's
Yeah,
whole other worlds, man, that exist that you just don't know. I mean, I'm finding new rap
that's a
talkers every day that with
me
500,000
too.
followers, man. So it's kind of like where y'all been. So it's
Exactly.
just a lane. The world is big enough for you don't have to hate on anybody. You can carve out your
Fact.
own lane if you know how to do it.
Yep. Totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. So between the TikTok world and Instagram, I think Instagram. I don't know which is more which is more popular. I think they're both pretty popular in these internet streets between your Instagram following and TikTok following.
Let
I
me
know
explain
the
something.
numbers might
So,
be different, but that's different though.
right. So, a TikTok follower, what an Instagram follower is probably worth more than a TikTok follower. So, I got 52 on Instagram and like 117 on TikTok. But it's
Gotcha.
easier to get TikTok followers because they allow people to follow you in bulk.
Right.
Instagram, you got to work harder for the follows. And not just that, everybody's on Instagram. Most people that will really reach out to you for opportunities, it's usually legit on Instagram because all the celebrities, all the management companies, all of those people are regularly on Instagram. Everybody, your mama use Instagram. But TikTok is kind of a younger person's platform, and younger people tend to follow people faster than older people. Older people, it's like, man, if you ain't talking exactly what I want to hear, man, I ain't gonna follow you. But young people see one
Right.
video they rock with, follow,
Hmm.
and
That's
the
interesting
algorithms
because
are told completely different. Yeah,
I've never even considered that what you just said, but that makes sense. Yeah, I'd be in the super struggle on Instagram. Instagram will make it like you if you're really trying and not getting anywhere. Instagram will make you be like, man, it's just not for me. It's just not for me. Luckily, I was gonna post on Instagram regardless, one way or the other. I was gonna
hmm
do what I was gonna do, and I just happened to get over to TikTok uh, at a decent time, and thankfully that worked out. Shout out to Melissa and Blaze and Solomon who kept telling me to make a TikTok page, and I was like, man, ain't nobody getting on no TikTok. But here we are.
look,
Here we
look,
are.
hey, and look what you're doing. You blew all the way up, bro.
Facts,
You blew all the way
facts,
up.
facts.
And also on Instagram, a lot of people don't follow the posting rules. There's a time that you're supposed to post,
Right,
and
right.
using hashtags appropriately. Hashtags, man, is for people to find your content. Like if somebody's looking for hip hop, whatever you want to call yourself, you hashtag that. You see how many people are viewing these hashtags. There's tools to do that. Usually, when I would post, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's right when people
Hmm.
6 o'clock Central, 5 or 6 o'clock Central. That's when people are getting up. They get into their day. They on Instagram a little bit more, and it takes a couple of hours for it to go into the algorithm. So if you post at 5, 6 a.m., by 8 a.m., you full fledged. So if you post
Gotcha.
at 11 a.m., I mean, that's just kind of an off time. Thursdays is the
Hmm.
best day to post. Also, the worst day to post is Friday night. And that's if you're looking for
Makes sense.
engagement.
Right, right, right.
But
That
yeah,
makes
so
sense. That makes sense.
Instagram is very rigid when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Okay. Duly noted. Duly noted. Instagram is a struggle.
It
Shout out to
is,
Big
man.
Daddy
It is.
Kane. Had a Big Daddy Kane video go kind of crazy on for me on Instagram and doubled
Oh,
my
the one with
my
special
small
ed?
following over there.
No, no, no. Where was he? Which
No,
video?
no. When he was talking about LL, talking about verses, the one you remember you said you won't feel him on the interview. It was Drink
Oh,
Champs.
but drink champs.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, we can talk. That's actually a good topic. We can circle back with that whenever you want.
So we can talk about it right now. But actually, since it's up, so because I'm curious, you
You
said
ask the
that
question, and then I'm gonna answer.
you said uh well we were talking about the Big Daddy Kane interview on Drink Champs. So I was talking about the Instagram. I clipped it. It's a part where he's talking about if he would have battled LL on verses, he would have got mopped. And I thought it was great that he said that because it showed some type of self awareness.
Humility.
Because he would have got mopped. Like that's
Oh,
LL got too many
absolutely.
hits, and he said that. So I was like, that was dope, and that joint just went crazy for whatever reason. Um, but when I posted the video here, I believe I posted it here. You said that you weren't feeling Big Daddy Kane during that interview. Tell me more. Tell me more.
I'm probably gonna say some things that's gonna surprise you during this whole talk, right? There's some
Okay.
artists, old school back in the day, that I just did not connect to, and it may seem blasphemous.
Hmm.
I think that I okay. Let me put this out right because I know this is gonna go on YouTube and people are like, "What? He just said what?" I rock with Big Daddy Kane, but I liked Smooth Operator Big Daddy Kane. I like Ain't No Half Stepping Big Daddy Kane. I didn't like Raw Big Daddy Kane. I don't to me, Big Daddy Kane, I didn't connect with him as a fast rapper. And I didn't rock with him like that, except for Ain't No Half Stepping, probably one of my top 5 songs released in '88. And it may not be number 5. Ask me whatever day, man. I mean, I rock with him like that. But you know how you got to take a side? Him and Rakim had a life beef back in the day, and they still do. He always taking shots at the God, and I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like he said before, and I thought they was gonna get to it in this interview. He may have said it, but they cut it out. He said Rakim don't want him in no verses because verses is all about performing, and he's right about that. Rakim ain't gonna do nothing but just kind of do what he doing. But you ask me, who's better, Rakim or Kane? Ain't no question. That's to me. So I feel that Big Daddy Kane is one of those people, low key, that can't understand that hip hop is evolving. And I didn't
Hmm.
necessarily not like him in the interview. I watched the entire interview. I love the interview because I love Drink Chats, one of my favorite, podcasts ever. Especially on hip hop, man, they really get into it, and Nori is becoming better and better. I
Right.
just think, man, it was it was not enough praise for the young people. He's like, oh, I got to teach these new people how to perform. They need to, they don't know how to perform and command the stage and all of that. I don't think today's hip hop is the way it was back in our day. I don't think it's necessarily about because these people are selling out. Dirk was just here, sold 2 nights in a row, the United Center. The biggest venue was second biggest venue in Chicago, 2 nights in a row. And you can barely hear what he's saying. Young people connect to hip hop in a different way. And I think certain old, like a Melly Mel, certain older artists, I don't think that they really respect that evolution happens. And like I told you before on another one of your
Hmm.
lives, it was, I mean, look at R&B back in the day. You know, Supreme's release, Temptations released My Girl today. Does it fly? No. But it's a great classic record, but things have evolved and people don't want certain things all the time. So I'll pause there
Right.
then, I know you got something to say, but it's not like I ain't like the interview, but it's just kind of BDK sometimes, man, I think he gotta embrace the younger culture. Yeah, somebody said nobody
Interesting.
should diss the God MC. You're right.
That's interesting. I've always assumed, as much thought, Big Daddy Kane was like super cocky, but I've never really heard a full interview of him just talking. Now
Mm-hmm.
he is definitely self-assured, like that is without question. But I thought he was pretty respectful. I get the rock him thing. I get the rock him thing because
I mean,
it
maybe
was
I'm just
slights. It
biased.
was little slights.
You know,
It was
right.
little slights.
He
It
was
was little
calling him
slights. I,
dude
I
or
get
something.
that.
Remember, he was like, "Yeah, dude," and Nori was like, "Did you just call Rakim the dude over there?" He called him something like that,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of weird for me. So, hey,
Understood. I'm not mad at that. I totally understand what you're saying. I totally understand what you're
right.
saying. I think Big Daddy. I don't know about the embracing the youth, but I do know that Big Daddy Kane at 50 whatever, between 52 and 55, however old he is, puts on a show and goes
Oh
bar
yeah.
for bar
Oh, he's
and
still
does
doing the
not
splits.
play. Like he does not play. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
out of
No.
control. Like he's out of
Oh yeah.
control.
No, no, he's a great. I've seen him before. He's a great performer.
Absolutely. So got to show some love to Big Daddy Kane on that front. But we were talking about an MC before we started this show, before we started recording, I should say. Uh, from your area, right? One of
Oh,
my
Common.
personal favorites. Yeah, one of my I say from what 94, 94, 95 to 2000, early 2000, he was my favorite MC. Um, yeah, and we were saying that he does not get enough credit from a lot of people
I know why that is, and I think that I rock with
because he
Common
likes skiing.
because, yeah, you know,
Because
I
he likes
mean,
skiing.
y'all actually had a look alike a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He in the family. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I love Common, and you got to understand, man. Chicago hip hop is not. I mean, we always was kind of like the bastard stepchild, and I still don't think that we get the credit that I think that we should get. But I understand because rap was on the East Coast for a long time. Gangster rap came out on the West Coast. East Coast and West Coast beefed, and the winner of that beef was the South. And I don't think hip hop came
Facts.
back from the South since then. And I think that with Chicago, I mean, you got to look at the earlier artists, man, like the Crucial Conflicts, the Do or Dies. A lot of those artists, they never really made the mainstream. I mean, people was playing Pope Pimp a lot, you know, Do or Die, but you know, Crucial Conflict, a lot of people wasn't playing those guys. But Common, when he came out, Chicago didn't play Common. Common moved to Brooklyn. Common got on in New York. Chicago didn't play Chicago hip hop. Not until, but then a brat came out. But what happened? She was out of Atlanta. Most people didn't even realize that the brat was from Chicago. She had to go to Atlanta, sign with JD. Twista, to me, never really became mainstream until uh, College Dropout came out and he was on, you know, slow jams. So when he was on that, and even you gotta understand, that's the beginning of Kanye's career as well. We knew, and
Yep.
Kanye lived 2 miles from me, and it was a dude who was trying to tell me about this new rapper, man, Kanye West. He just on one of Jay. He just did one of Jay Z's records. So everybody was under had to move. Kanye had to move out to New Jersey when he first got out. So Common, it's like I became a real fan of Common when y'all became a fan of him. So a lot of
Mm,
Common's early work, because I was a big fan of No ID. No ID, very underrated producer. So No ID kind of
right.
did all of Common's and Kanye's early work. Kind of taught Kanye how to sample, taught him how to speed up the to save memory in the MPC. So to save memory in MPC, you just double timed everything and make it sound like a chipmunk. No ID taught Kanye how to do that. So it's all of these people, but they had to go out to the East Coast to get on, and we didn't get like the early stuff because you know I was married with kids by then, right? You know, so I wasn't into. I didn't follow the the plight until Kanye bubbled, and then
Mm,
you know when the light came out, and then like War for Chocolate, and you know those Resurrection, B, my favorite Common album. So I got into Common later. Then I went back to his early stuff, and I realized, man, Common is dope, but I think he's a little boring to a lot of people that don't listen to lyrics.
mm,
Because you got to understand, everybody that consumes hip hop is not about the lyrics. Most people do it for the
right.
entertainment. So it's kind of
Yep.
like, does it sound? Is it visually and aesthetic? Not even aesthetically, but is it, you know, sonically pleasing to me from a beat and from a voice perspective? And I think that's where he falls short.
That's fair. That's fair. I I ain't gonna lie to you. Listen,
And
like
not
I
to
said,
me. I'm
Common
just
was my
saying, like,
favorite
this is feedback, you know, from
in
when
general.
people talk about Common. Yeah, in general, they would say that about Common. Lyrically sound, one of the best out there. Common, I've never heard a wax song from him. And he's experimental, he's all of that. He's super dope. That's the only knock that people can have against him if they were to choose something.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah, I loved certain albums from Common. Common from the beginning till even up until B, removing Electric Circus. I still need to go back to that album respectfully. After I listened to it when it first came out, I was so unappreciative of it. Like I gave it a couple spins and I was like, I don't ever want to hear this again in life. But people tell me it feels different now. so I need to give it a chance. I haven't yet, but I'm gonna go back to it one day. Not today, but one day.
Hmm. Well, people don't like for hip hop to to be too experimental. And I think that when you kind of get in, I believe that electric circus, and I'm like you, man. Uh, I got to revisit it again, but I didn't ever not like any of Common's records, man. I just think that when you kind of experiment a little bit in hip hop, except for if you Andre 3000 with the Love Below, that shit was dope as hell. But when you get too out there, a lot of people, I don't know why they don't think that you should do that. You got to stick to hard bars and not have different sonics, going on. So that's probably what happened with that. But I'm sure if we listen to it now with what's going on with hip hop, it's dope.
Speaking of experimental, and you mentioned Andre 3000. Have you seen the news today?
Yes, you got a new Barless album that's dropping on Friday.
A new barless album that's dropping on Friday. Yes.
Yep.
No bars. I believe it's a flute instrumental album. Um, and just I'll tell you my thoughts on it real quick. First, as a person who is, has always wanted an Andre 3000 album, when I saw the news, I know better because even when Killer Mike said what he said on Sway in the Morning, I didn't say, oh, Andre's got an album coming. I said I'll believe it when I see it on streaming platforms. Same thing this morning. I saw that. I was like, ain't no way, boy, ain't no way Andre 3000 gonna be out here rapping. Only to find out it's an instrumental album. What did you think of what happened when you saw it? When you read it, did you have any type of feeling about it?
Well, did you hear what Andre 3000 said a couple years ago? It was actually quite interesting that he would say this. He said that somebody asked him why he stopped rap. Will he ever rap again? And he said, probably not. He said, because hip hop is all about being hip. And he said he's
Yeah,
not hip anymore. And a part of me, man, and I guess you get to a certain age, man, you kind of understand what he was saying. It's people, especially older people, that continue to want to put out new music, man. I love it. I got some. You probably seen it on YouTube about what's too old to rap, and I don't think it's never any age that's too old to do hip hop. Hip hop is a lifestyle. I don't think you'll ever outgrow that. Your
right.
expectations of the outcome and how people will receive it, I think should be adjusted at a certain thing because I do think what Andre was trying to say is, I'm not young and happy and doing all of this. I'm grown up, so y'all may not want to hear what I got to say at this age in my mid to late 40s. So when I heard that he was coming out with this, I automatically knew it wasn't going to be rapping. Now, he might say a bar here or there. I don't think it's going to be completely barless. I think that it's Andre 3000. He wants people to listen to this, so I think there will be some surprises that we don't know yet.
I don't. Not
You
at
don't think it's gonna be
all.
no bars? You don't think he's gonna say
I
nothing?
don't.
No, not one
I don't
rhyme.
think he's gonna say a word. I think he's gonna be like,
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I believe in straight instrumentals, no bar. I thought I heard that it's
He can't
87
do that,
minutes.
man. He can't. 87 minutes
87.
of the flute.
That's what I don't
Nah, no
don't
way, no way.
don't quote don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I think it's 8 songs. I think it's 8 songs. But yeah, it proves 3 stacks, not a top MC. Yeah, that makes literally no sense because he decided to do something else that means he's not a top MC. That doesn't make the first bit of sense.
Right,
So
right.
I
One
don't
of the
even know
most
why I read
talented
it.
to
I
ever
don't even
touch
know
the
why I
earth.
read it out loud.
Right.
I don't even know why I read it out. Plus, it's from a
Yeah.
hater. Andre Powell is a hater anyway. He lives to hate. So it's all good though.
Hey, we
But
gotta
yeah,
have
it was
some
interesting
dude
news.
that told me up in the comments. I ain't say nothing. He said, "Bro, stick to your profession." I guess because I said people might find common monotone. I mean, shit, they might.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a
y'all got a hundred some
possibility.
thousand followers talking about. hip hop. Get your ass out. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't.
Trust me, I understand. I understand.
but
So
but yeah. But go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, so is there anything like do you well you said you stick in the 80s and 90s. I guess mentally you like that's your time frame that you like to go back to. Does that mean that you like if I said what you've been listening to lately, or is there anything specific? Is it gonna be something older or is it gonna be something newer?
Well, man, I if I could screenshot and put on here my playlist, I would show you. It's I always say I stick to the 80s and 90s because and hip hop is not like the only thing that I rock with. I love blues music, you know what I'm saying? I love any version of R&B. I got a 21-year-old daughter that kind of puts me on the stuff. But my two favorite MCs today, and a lot of people don't talk about him anymore, but Corday used to be YBN Corday, but he's just Corday now.
Hmm.
Man, is it the Lost something? The Lost. He dropped it in 2019. Hold up. If y'all don't know, hold up. I can't believe that the album is escaping me. The Lost Boy. He dropped it in 2019. One of my favorite hip hop projects, man, of the past 10 years. Him and Joey Badass. Those two brothers, man, I always go back to their music if we're talking about music today. I've not gotten to, I love Tyler the Creator as well. I think, man, Lil Yachty gets more hate than he should have. And I listened to that album, man, and I think it should have been nominated for a Grammy. So I think he was really snubbed. He went out there and tried to
Hmm.
do something different. I'm not going to call that album hip hop, at least not the hip hop that I know. But I love when people do something experimental. So if I'm talking, and I'm not saying, I'm not out there like looking for brand new artists today. So that's why I like following the younger TikTokers like the Adrians and the Wilds because they always put me on to something that I didn't know. So a lot of times,
Right.
man, I write down, man, what they because it's their era that they're coming up in. But yeah, but that's it, man. Like me, I'm 80s, 90s, 2000s, even all day long.
I'm with you, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do listen to new stuff. Uh, but I found myself in the last few years hearing people bring up artists and have whole conversations about this artist. And I'm like, I have never even heard that name before. It actually
Right,
happened the other day. I forgot who the artist was. But they was like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, who? I didn't say that. I just had to let the moment
right,
go because I had
right.
no clue. No clue.
But let's talk about why though. That's a good subject. So you and I basically the same age. So let's talk about like young people respecting old hip hop and older people respecting younger people's um, hip hop and vice versa. Because I think
Right.
I think both of us could approach it differently. Both age groups can approach it differently. The reason that I don't listen, because I want to clear this up, because I know it's probably some younger followers in here. The reason that I don't connect to younger hip hop or newer hip hop, it ain't because I'm a hater of new music. It's not at all. It's I love how hip hop is evolving. Now I gotta understand that even when I was coming up, my parents didn't understand NWA. We now consider or Rakim. We now consider that real hip hop. But at that time it was
Mm-hmm.
trash to them because they didn't understand. They came up in rock and roll, Motown, disco, so on and so forth. So it's just I'm at an age where young people, I don't talk the dialect. I don't, things, what they're doing, I'm not doing. So that's the only reason. It's not because I don't like the way that it's evolving. I also think that younger people, actually, let me get your take on that first before I keep going.
Oh no, I'm with you. Yeah, you can go. You can keep going. You good?
Okay, so with younger people listening to older hip hop, just like a lot of people talking about, heard a lot of videos talking about the '80s is trash, so on and so forth. But it's more than saying that it's trash and it's old and the bars wasn't up to par. It's more than that. It's like you got to have the discernment to understand that at a certain time period, that's what was going on. At some, back in the just say the 2000s, We was all wearing big baggy white tees and do rags with baseball caps over them. I mean, it looks, the 90s we had, Gumby haircuts, man. In the 80s we had Jerry curls. And if you look back at that time period, you couldn't understand somebody saying a hip, a hop, a hip to the hip. You couldn't understand that that was the cool thing to say because you wasn't in it. You can Google all day long. But if you was there,
Right.
if you wasn't saying that, then you was a clown. So that was just the lingo. You jive turkey, you know what I'm saying? You sucker. I mean, you know what I mean? So that's, no, I'm just saying that's what they were saying. So it sounds
Yeah,
weird
yeah,
now, and Google ain't gonna give you that. So we got work to do on both sides. I think we gotta understand that hip hop evolves, but they gotta also understand there's some things you had to be there for. And it sounds silly to some people now, but that's not necessarily the case.
yeah. And I don't really have a problem either way. I don't care. I personally don't care if younger people don't love older hip hop. I
Hmm.
don't care. I don't expect them to love it. There's no reason for them to love it unless
Right.
they want to experience what was before them. But to dismiss it or to be disrespectful of
Exactly.
it is a whole different thing. Like if you don't like it, don't like it. But don't talk crazy. Like you're talking about something
Absolutely.
that was created from nothing to create a life for millions of people.
Yeah.
Millions of people live for hip hop. Hundreds of thousands of people live off of hip hop. And you're talking about, oh, that was trash. No, you can't. You can do it, but you look stupid. To me, you look stupid.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it at that.
What
Now,
academics
us
said broke my heart. It's about last year.
academics,
Did he say that?
you,
You remember DJ Academics?
how,
And man,
how could
man,
anything academics said break your heart? You should never listen to academics. There's nothing that man has ever said that's been valuable to hip hop, in my opinion.
and yeah, you're absolutely right. Nothing at all. But when he said a couple years ago, this is when I wasn't really tuned in to him before this. This is kind of what made me think about it. He when he talked about the old rappers is dusty and man, and then what
Yeah.
really upset me, man, is when Russell Simmons tried to come in and be respectful and just kind of as an OG, like look, trying to explain to him exactly what you just said. It's like you don't diss it. That's kind of the foundation of what's going on now. And he came at him really respectful. Then he tried to call him out about the accusations, and now he lives in Bali and he was drunk and just really going off. And I'm like, how can you you got this platform, man, because of hip hop. How can you go and diss someone as important to the culture as Russell Simmons? How can you do that? So yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And
So I didn't like
to
that at
get
all.
personal, to get personal based on them responding to your opinion about hip hop as opposed to respond to what was said. Like if you want to say that Russell Simmons, you don't talk to Russell Simmons because of whatever accusations. That's one thing, but it's another that just because they came the same similar to the response of Drake to Joe Budden. Not completely, but the failed rapper and all the stuff that was like, I've got more money than you. Like it was a bunch of stupidity because he
Yeah,
said
yeah,
something about the way you approach music and it
right,
hurt your
right.
feelings. It hurt your, it
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
weird. It was weird.
Somebody said, and a lot of times I don't agree with Charlemagne, but sometimes I do. I don't agree with the recent Charlemagne. He I think it's kind of more of an act now in the Breakfast Club for whatever reason. They may be falling off, but he said something about Drake that actually makes sense. Usually, how you're treated in high school, like the person that's popular in high school, they can be completely fell off the ledge at our age, man. They can come back to the reunion broke down or whatever. Cause I seen it last year. Um,
Mm.
but they're always the popular person. The pretty girl in high school, man, no matter what she look like now, in your mind, she's still like the prettiest thing in high school. I think Drake, and this is what Charlemagne said, he probably kind of was a square. I don't want to call anybody a nerd or a clown, anything like that, man. I mean, he's a high schooler. He's from Canada, man. So he probably was just kind of a straight guy in high school, and he could have been bullied. And I think that that never leaves you. So I think that Drake gets
Mhm.
extra sensitive. No matter how big you get, no matter how many hundreds of millions of dollars you get, I think that he still maybe fused. And I don't know Drake from Adam. I'm just saying he maybe continues to view himself as that shy kind of square high school kid, and people don't let him forget that. Charlemagne had that take, and it was probably a couple years ago when he said it. So that didn't surprise me when he went off on on Joe Budden and went on a personal attack. And it was just like, whoa, hold up, man. So he's got to be going through something else in his life as well.
He said Aubrey is Aubrey. Yeah, it was
Oh yeah,
interesting.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
It reminds me of like I don't know the story, and it's never been spoken on by Hove. But if if Jay Z is still mad at L for clowning him when he was in high school, then then your theory checks out two times. Your theory checks out two
Right.
times.
Because L don't rock with, I mean, Jay Z don't rock with L at all.
Yeah. But there's no reason outside. Nobody knows of a reason outside of something that may or may not have happened when Jay Z
In
was
high
in high
school.
school. So yeah,
I mean, I
that's
love
funny.
L, man. You know, L was on my influential rappers list, man. I think he was number 5 on my kind of more influential because of, and that's another thing you had to be there for. 1987, LL Cool J after Big and Deffer, there's nobody in the world bigger than him. If LL had
Right.
passed away after that album, they'd have treated him like Tupac. They'd have compared everybody after him to him. But we seen his career, go up, come down, or whatever. So I can absolutely see LL clowning Jay Z in high school. I can see it because he's got a lot of bravado himself. I can see that. That definitely happened.
Definitely see that happening. Funny,
That definitely happened.
I just shared. Well, I didn't share it. Billy Danz from MOP said, "This is not even related. It's just LL related." Billy
Right.
Danz said his sister and LL went to elementary school, I get elementary, middle school together, and his sister was a bully, so she bullied everybody. Then she tried to bully LL, and they got into a scuffle, fight, whatever at school. LL came to them people's house, their I don't want to say project because I'm not 100% sure where he lived, but their
Right. Right.
house yelled to Billy, "Hey yo, get your brother," because he had a brother that was older than his sister. He said, "Get your brother and tell him come down here and fight." So LL went to these people's house he said all summer, but I'm sure it was more than one time to fight the
Right.
brother because he couldn't really fight the sister. I was like, that is hilarious. That's hilarious to me.
You know what the dude broke in his house and he put them paws on him.
Yeah, I forgot all about that joint.
No
I forgot all
good
about that.
at all. The dude came and
And
broke
held
in his
him.
house. He went downstairs and beat the dude and called the cops and said, "Come peel him off the floor and get him out of my house." At 50.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
he's a bad
And
man.
Jamie
He's a
Foxx,
bad man.
somebody just said in the comments, Andre Powell. He's in any given Sunday. He
Yeah.
down Jamie Foxx, man. So yeah, L is a real one.
Yeah, I can see Jamie
One of
asking for
my
that though. He's
favorites for
probably
sure.
feeling that character. He was probably on one, just wilding, being extra. And yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I can see that. I can definitely see
yeah,
that.
no. Right. And that was big, swole, big old neck LL,
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
time
yeah.
period. Right.
Yeah, LL ain't never been a little guy. He was slim, he was slim, but he was never a little guy. He's like 6'2", so
Right,
uh
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Some a couple of people actually earlier were asking if you knew of some Chicago artists. Let's see, I forgot what the name it was a number like 1773 or something like
I
that.
saw that. No, I never heard of them. Are they
Yeah.
drill? It's funny, man, I'm a fan of drill, man. I'm a fan of
Yeah.
drill music. And I mean, of course they talking about some BS, man, but NWA wasn't. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I can't be biased. I can't be NWA gangster rap fan. Um, and not understand. This is just the modern day gangster rap, um, but these dudes really actually kind of living at most of these. So I don't support that. And there's a lot of murders that happen around drill. But the style, man, I rock with. I'm gonna do my top 5 favorite drill rappers one day.
Oh yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
look, I like drill beats. I can't lie. I like drill beats. Drill beats go hard. Uh, I can't speak to drill rappers too heavy, but I like drill beats though. So I'm not
yeah.
mad at it.
So
I'm not mad at it.
yeah, it's very catchy, man, and kind of put Chicago. Chief Keef is kind of like the godfather of the Chicago drill, and he kind of stopped
Right.
completely. He lives in Hollywood Hills now. I don't think he come
Oh
back to
yeah.
Chicago at all. Yeah, man, he did it the right way. He got his money out, and I don't know what he's doing out there, but it ain't drilling.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. You say out the mix. Out the mix.
Okay,
That's how I
1773
had
have
it.
a tribe called Quest Vibes. That's all you had to say. Yeah, I'm about to
Now,
look them
now
up
you
right now.
now you got to find them.
Yeah, I'm about to look them up right now. 1773. Oh, they must have just came out. Yeah, they just came out. They only got one
It's
song with actual stream number. Is that right?
uh
Oh, what's my top 5?
1773.
They
Yeah.
want to know my top 5.
Your top five MCs is what it was earlier.
MCs?
So
Okay, so
yeah,
all right, you know this is gonna change on a day-to-day basis. So I'm not gonna
I
put
get
them
it.
in no particular order. It's gonna be a mix of 80s and 90s. You know that already.
Of course.
Rakim,
Okay.
Big Daddy Kane. No, I didn't know. Big Daddy Kane's wrong. We need my top 5. KRS One. That's what I meant to say. Uh, Ho, Nazir, and even though this brother only made 2 albums, I gotta go with Big. Now, but let me do 5 more. That's the quintessential top 5. Everybody got them. So let's go a step further. I love Most Def. I love Black Thought. I go back and forth and see if Bus is gonna be in my top 10. Because, and I'm gonna explain why I say that. Bus is ill as hell, but I don't know if I put him in my personal top 10. I'm gonna go with
Oh, hold on.
Q,
Oh,
Face.
hold up.
Okay, go ahead.
Look, you said this man is giving his personal list, and you're asking is
Are
he
they mad at me?
biased?
East Coast only MCs. I get that all the time. I'm all right with it.
Yeah,
I just
but
said
if it's
Q
if it's
though. I just said Q.
yeah, are you
And I
biased?
said
Is your
Scarface.
opinion biased to what he wants to listen
All right.
to? That's a wild
So,
statement. People do that all the time. But go ahead.
oh yeah, man. You know, hey man, I get attacked all the time. And people think I'm from New York and I'm not. But again, man, that's where hip hop was coming from when I came up. There was no other real coast. So my formative years, man, I was in um, Three Stacks. He's on my list. I know I'm naming about 15. Three Stacks is on my list. Um, oh shit, Lil Wayne, Wheezy's got to be up there. Um, did I say Black Thought? I think I said Black Thought.
Yep, you
Um,
did.
let's see. I said, oh, DOC. I love DOC. He made one album, so I won't put him in top 10, but I'll put him in one of the best that could have been. He's making a new AI album. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
that,
So
and I
that's a
think
good
that's
use of
good
AI,
for
man.
him.
That's a good use.
I think it's good
That's
for
a
him.
good
Yeah,
use of AI.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Let me see. Let me see what else I got. Um, I would say out of those about 15 that I named, pick your 5 out of those. So if I can't think of them, of course, Pac. Of course, man. I didn't name Pac. What's wrong with me? Of course, Pac.
It's all right.
But so I can't
You ain't
narrow
got
them
the
into
name.
a yeah. So y'all pick between those 15 and formulate your top 5. Tell me who I missed.
Uh, I've seen Scarface, Eminem, Redman,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and Common.
Eminem is on there too. I know, Source. I know how you feel. We ain't gonna go into it, but
I don't.
Eminem is my dude.
I don't
Shit, you
dislike
right.
him.
DMX is on there too. I'm sorry, I'm naming 20 MCs. Snoop Dogg is not in my top. 50 Cent is
He
not in my
said
top.
top. He said top
You said top
75.
five,
Let
and
me
I
get my
named
top
yeah.
75 off.
Right. I can't do a five. I can't do a five. It depends on the day. So if I do top fives 4 times, man, those 20 MCs gonna be in one of the top fives.
What's up,
Yeah, I had
Tony?
all of
I'm
those
only
except
saying
for Redman.
I'm saying what's up to Tony because he said Pharaoh Monch. Nobody asked for
Oh
my top
yeah,
five,
man,
but
Pharaoh.
mine is Jay-Z, Black Thought, 3000, Pharaoh Monch, and KRS.
All right, see we
But that's
close.
just me. That's just
Yeah,
me.
no, it was close. My top five is basically. So what about Nas? So what do you think about Nas?
Nas is great. Nas is great. Nas is top five historic. And I don't like to say top five without giving it some thought. So I'll say top 10. I'll say Nas is top 10 all time.
Hmm.
And he can be argued as one. He can be argued as one for multiple reasons. But
Yeah,
for me personally,
yeah.
I don't
You don't go
I
listen to
listen to more
Nas a
Nas
lot.
than I realized. I listen to
Okay.
him more than I realized, but I would never say he's my favorite rapper, favorite five. Probably not 10 personally for me, but he's in the top 10 if I was naming 10 from history,
Right.
greatest, most influential, whatever the case may be, then he's in that mix, definitely.
You know what I love about Nas is Nas loves hip hop, and that's probably my favorite thing about him is he loves hip hop, and he's just gonna drop that album. I mean, he probably writing King's Disease 4 right now. So it's he just loves to drop projects, man, and I really like his work ethic and his ability to just really stay sharp in this game. Now,
Yeah,
Nas got he got a lot of projects. I don't really, I don't go back to a lot of later Nas projects. I think my favorite project of Nas is Stillmatic. I'm not saying that's his best. That's my favorite
right.
project. I think Illmatic is if you are hip hop East Coast 90s hip hop lover, man, between Illmatic and Into the Woo, between those two albums, nothing says mid 90s hip hop than those two albums. If you like New York hip hop. Somebody landed here and said, show me some hip hop, some throwback New York hip hop. It's those two. But outside of that, um, I mean, it's I only go back to kind of Nas' early stuff. I've listened to all the King's Diseases, man. They were dope, all of them. He
Right.
just dropped so much shit, man. I mean, like I don't know what to, what to go back to.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Fair enough. Life is Good
Black
is a good
Moon,
one.
yes, yes.
I'm a fan of Life is Good from Nas. As far as
Mm-hmm.
that 2010 to 2020 time frame, that's probably my favorite album from him from that time frame. But yeah, Black Moon Into the Stage, that's a good album as well. A good album that's overlooked and not talked about as much as a lot of other things from that same time frame.
Sure.
That is a fact.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the Bears early on. We should do a versus. You think everybody should do a versus. You want everybody to do a versus against me. Every person that pop up on this joint, you be like, oh, you should do a versus against. Why? Why I got to do a versus against everybody? First of all, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Second, you know,
Ah,
ain't really no second. I just wanted to say that. But we were
wait, hold
talking
on.
about
You said,
sports a little bit.
wait, somebody said, when or what year did my hip hop journey start?
Mm,
That's a
that's a good
good
question.
question. Uh, the first song I ever heard was Rapper's Delight on the radio in 1979. I remember thinking, man, what is this? I remember thinking that. Um, when I really, really fell for hip hop is, I think, when did Run DMC's first album drop? 83, I think. With
83?
Sucker MCs.
83.
Yeah. So let me see when Sucker MCs, because that was my joint. C's.
It's 80. I feel like it's 83.
Yeah, so Sucker MCs, that it was dropped in '84, but it was on the Run DMC album, the original Run DMC album. When I heard that, no, it's like that. I didn't know that was on that. I think when I first heard it's like that, that got me. The Roxanne Wars, they don't get talked about a lot. I really enjoyed that. That was hot at the time. We compare it now to more advanced lyricists, but at the time when it dropped,
Mhm.
I got into that. So I would probably say '83, '84 is when I really got into it. I was a big, big fan of Houdini. Funky Beat was my joint. I love Funky
Yeah.
Beat, man. I thought that there was a three fly dudes that was out there having a good time. Kind of before hip hop got a little harder. Then we know what dropped in '86. You know what I'm saying? Paid in Full. Well, '87, but he started writing in '86. So Paid in Full, Eric B. and Rakim, EPMD dropped in '88, Strictly Business. KRS-One, Criminal Minded, '87. So I think that's when I really, really got into hip hop. I was about 13, 12, 13 at the time. Because people don't understand, hip hop wasn't as prevalent as it is now. You can count on one and a half hands who was hot at that time. So it wasn't like
Mm.
hip hop was all over. We listened to pop. It was Michael Jackson and Prince, that we listened to. Some Wham, some Phil Collins, man. We were still listening to those artists. Music was more integrated. So, yeah.
We definitely we well, I think you said it was more integrated. That's probably fair, but I think it was just a product of the R word, and they didn't play black artists on a regular basis
Absolutely.
on MTV to the point where David Bowie was at the people's neck. Shout out to David
Yeah, yeah.
Bowie.
He
Salute,
said, well, what is
salute.
Michael Jackson? How come you ain't playing Michael Jackson? I remember that interview.
Yeah, so he was on the
Oh,
people's
yeah,
neck.
Too Short, '86. Freaky Tales. I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. Yep.
Oh no, you good. Yeah, so we definitely, but I always say there's this is a joke, just and I'm gonna keep saying it until somebody gets offended. The only good thing that came from the R word is the fact that we got 80s white people music. And we know it. It we have it in our DNA.
Hold up.
Because I don't know that we would have had the same I don't know that we would have had the same need to listen to those songs if MTV had actually played other artists. So yeah, Robert Plant, Eric Clapton, yeah, the list goes on and on. Like I do unmelanated jam sessions
Oh, yeah.
because of that reason. Because of that reason.
Word up. Yeah, man. It was different back then, and you're absolutely right though. It was but it still was not enough hip hop compared to today. I think younger
Oh
people
yeah,
think everybody if we wanted to make a song right now, do the beat, record it, it can be on Spotify by 8 o'clock tonight. You know what I'm saying? It was a different time period back then, man. I mean, you just had to have an it factor, and it was almost impossible for you to want to do this as a career. So the hip hop
right.
that came out that was mainstream, it was always being made. It was still limited. Now, even the limited hip hop, like they wasn't playing KRS-One on MTV. That was, hip hop came to us underground, but we still knew about them. You
Yep,
see what I'm saying? So it's like, how you get the Criminal Minded tape? How did you know that the tape was coming out? Because the Word Up magazine. You know what I'm saying? Right On magazine. It's like we had our own publications, man, to get the word out. So at that point,
that's true.
MTV didn't do it, but we still had other ways to see when the records was coming out. Yeah. And then people hate on Will Smith. Uh, they did a lot for hip hop, man, just by bringing it into the mainstream. Everybody's life ain't
Absolutely.
falling apart. He's a happy kid. He grew up in two-parent household, man. He wanted to talk about how parents just don't understand it. When I was 13, I was rocking with him. I was like, yeah, my parents don't understand either. So it was
Yeah,
something.
I, yeah. That just saying that
What's
is
up,
definitely
Brian?
not the Will Smith. Like that's not the Will Smith childhood. But yeah, nah. His dad was abusive.
Yeah, no, he's abusive,
Now
but I'm just,
it,
he went
it
through some stuff too.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah. I
read the
mean, you
book.
you said
Right.
the happy thing. I'm like let's be clear. His life won't
Yeah,
happy.
yeah,
So I hate for people to take
yeah.
that
To
from
be
that.
like, yeah, no,
But
you're
yeah,
right. You're right.
I know that's not my man Damien. What up? What's up, Damien? Oh man. Tuesday night brings in all the randos. Ain't seen you in a minute. Hope all is well with you. Oh, you know what the last thing we gotta talk about is,
What's
which
up?
we can let the people be privy to if it's cool with you.
Hmm.
So I had told you a couple weeks ago that we should do something, together, and we were supposed to talk about it. We haven't gotten to talk about it as of yet, but we're here now. So part of being part of the live, we might cut this from the actual interview part, but
Hey, whatever.
yeah,
Keep in whatever you need, bro. So,
keep it. What can we do? Or I guess y'all can be a part of this. Y'all got any ideas? Because we were talking about doing something together. Gangsta Allen and Source, of course, a video, where we kind of talk back and forth, something like that. So I know y'all like to give all your opinions about everything in the comments. So give an opinion about that. What
and
y'all
it'll
got?
be my animated character. So basically,
Right,
we
right.
gotta frame it and we gotta produce it well, and we gotta put it out as a video.
Yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful thing. So if y'all got an idea, throw
And
it
the
out
thing
there.
is, we can just do what we just did now. And as
Hmm.
long as I have the file, you know what I'm saying? So it's not gonna take, but we should do it on Zoom. So not on live. So we'll
Right.
do it on Zoom. It'll be, a better format. And then, I mean, I can just take that. I did the same thing. You saw my video with Cool Rock. It's the only time I did
Right.
that. So I did the same thing with him, but I was out of the frame. He didn't want me in the frame. That was a couple of years ago. So I was out the frame.
So he says, "It's just me. It's just me, baby."
That's what he said. He was like, just to me. He's like, man, someone be talking because I interviewed him like I am now. But when I
Right.
framed it, and then when I did it, it was the animated character. But that was 2 years ago. It wasn't quite as polished as my skills now. But that's neither here nor there.
He said, makes
Make you a
makes source a
character,
character.
man. Let me see. Let me see. I think I can draw you out source.
Oh no! Look, Prime, what you doing, baby?
Brian, my man, what's good, brother?
Brian, where you at, bro? Where you at? Where you at in these streets? What what state I should say?
Yeah, Prime be going back and forth from California. I think was it Arizona. You be all over
Man,
the place,
oh,
bro.
yeah, he be all over the place. Yeah, we're doing the podcast conversation, Prime. So I'm not gonna bring you up. But oh, you at the crib right now? Okay, gotcha. Appreciate you, bro. You doing this right now? I feel like getting a set a brother up. Trivia wouldn't be good. Something between you guys. Yeah, we can do trivia. We can do lots of
We do it.
things. You know, it could be a whole thing. It could be a whole thing. But people got lives. Well, some people have lives. I be chilling, but people got lives and making moves. So you know,
Hey. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut.
understood, bro. Understood. I gotta go. I'm going to disappear for a couple. Man, take your time there, Mr. Lonely, Damien. Hope all is well, man. You be safe and take care of yourself. Friends
But
of
yeah,
ours,
bro,
cuz,
we can
cuz.
do something like you know what? Why don't we do something like this? Let's do like a MC draft. Remember
Like we
we did
did,
the
we
the,
did the,
the 90s draft? Why
yeah.
don't we do an MC draft? But don't make it too long, like 10.
Okay.
Let's
That
do a
sounds
10
good. Sounds good
MC
to me.
draft. Yep, let's do that.
Word. That's what it is. That's what it is.
And yeah, and we give our reasons why. And I'm sure just hearing your top five, we're gonna name the. I mean, you got the usual suspects, so it might be interesting to keep off the usual suspects. And we name five MCs that we can't name. No Big, no Pac, no Jay, no Nas, no Rakim, and go from there.
I like it. I like it.
That makes it
I'm
more
all about
interesting.
that. I'm all about that. I'm all about that. Yeah, let's do it.
Yep, and we can do that and see kind of what it is.
That's a good five too. said Big
Yeah,
J,
no Big, no
Nas,
J,
Pac,
no
and
Nas,
Rakim.
Pac, or Rakim. Because everybody gonna name at least four of them in their top five.
I like that. I like that. Top five hip hop groups of the '80s. Ooh,
That's an easy one, man. I can rattle them off right now. You Run DMC, EPMD, Eric B. and Rakim, BDP, and I said easy. I ain't gonna really say Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. I think I should say that, but
mm.
I'm not gonna say it because that's you know
You're
Beastie
not gonna say
Boys. You
Houdini?
goddamn right. Yeah, Beastie Boys. Yep, you are
How you
absolutely right.
you just was talking about Houdini 2 seconds ago.
Oh, who? See, that's how I go. Here I go again. Now I got to name 10. Houdini. No, but I say Houdini. I love them. They got me into it. But Houdini, okay, Freaks Come Out at Night, Friends, Funky Beat. Give me two more. Oh, One Love,
One
Big
Love,
Mouth.
yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Big Mouth. They got like 15.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they can be in there too. I don't know, man. I got to give another 10 to name my five. It changes by the day. But definitely Beastie Boys, man. License to Ill, man. Believe it or not, I go back to that album a lot.
Hey, License to Ill was tough.
Yeah, it
License to Ill
was,
was
man.
tough.
Everything on that joint, man. I used to love Girls. Yeah,
Girls.
that was my joint.
Yeah, we used to recite every time we won a basketball game on the bus back to middle school. We would do Paul Revere.
One of the toughest beats ever.
Yeah,
And that was a tough story too. They all three of them had great chemistry on that record, man. R.I.P. MCA.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, bro.
Had
We
the Ill
way past time,
production.
man. I don't want to take up your whole night.
Look,
So,
yeah, we gave him an extra 10. We gave him an extra 10. Any last thoughts you want to get off your chest before we wrap this thing up?
no, brother, man. Just thank you for having me, man. Big fan of your platform. You were one of the first people, man, that I ran across when I started doing these top fives and hanging out on TikTok, man. So, hey, don't change nothing what you're doing. I mean, you give your honest opinion. You give everybody. You always going live. You're giving everybody a show, man. So I hope it all works out for you the way that you want it to work out. So let's definitely get offline, talk about how we're gonna do this next thing, man. And thank the people in the comments, man. Y'all weren't too hard on me, you know. So I appreciate y'all, man, and that's it, brother.
No doubt. Appreciate you, bro. Once again, Ken Lewis, Gangsta Island TV.